I was working at the American Olean Tile Company in Olean, New York, when we merged with Dow Tile, who was located in Dallas. Well, I moved to the corporate headquarters and was assigned responsibility as environmental health and safety and mining liaison for the 12 plants in our network. Now, I had no prior experience in environmental health, safety, and mining and attended many workshops with the EPA, OSHA, and other agencies. I toured all 12 plants to establish relationships and to see where I could help, as many of the Dow Tile plants didn't have a great relationship with the corporate environmental health and safety department and didn't really trust me initially. But I was able to build trust because I was trying to be helpful, and I got the assignment to submit the annual environmental reports for all 12 plants, which, by the way, they were all due at the same time. And unfortunately, each state had different requirements, and somehow I had to learn them all. With about a month to go, I realized that I didn't understand everything I needed to do, and my name was going to be signed on a bunch of legal documents. So I had to devise a plan to get them all done on time and done properly. So the first step was to understand each form. What was it really asking me? And instead of trying to interpret each form, I decided to call each state agency to speak with the people that really understood these things way better than I ever would. But I never reached the person on the first try. So here was my plan. I left a sticky note with my specific questions on the form and the state I had called to remind me of my issue. So whenever the call came back, I could figure out, hey, which form should I be looking at? So when the call came, the first question I'd ask the person calling me was, what state are you calling from? Once I found that out, I'd pull the report from that state, looked at the sticky note, and knew what I had to specifically confirm. Now, what was interesting about all of this was that the agencies were more than glad to help and appreciated how organized I was and how specific I was about the issues I was trying to resolve. They wanted the forms filled out properly as well, and they weren't used to being asked for help. Actually, most of the time, people like to hide from the agencies. They see them as the bad guy. But you know what I learned was the agencies actually work for us, the public. We're the ones paying our tax dollars to pay their salaries. So I'm convinced that using experts to help is the best course of action and that the forms I filled out were legal and proper. But I got to tell you that I'm also glad that the 7-year statute of limitations has run out on every form that I filled out. I hope you enjoyed this story, gained some insight, and learned something you can use. You'll find many more Kaizen stories on my website, www.pi-partners.com. If you'd like help growing your profits through sustained process improvement, scan the QR code on the screen for a free consultation, and let's start our journey together.